our partial fulfillment in leadership and decision-making course under Sir Sofranio Dulay.
And today we are here at Taguig City in Neocolors Productions and Advertising Inc. Pardon me. And I am Red Garcia.
And I am Naida Lahara, and we're your interviewers for today.
And today we have Sir Daguno with us. Sir, can you tell us a little about yourself and about the company?
Yeah, I'm Romeo Daguno Jr. That's my full name. Because of the junior, they call me Jojo. So here in the office, I am the Chief Operating Officer of New Group of Companies. New Group of Companies have 3 subsidiaries under the main company, which is Neocolors Productions and Advertising Inc. So overall, I am in charge of the overall operations of the whole new group of companies.
Before we start our formal interview, I'd like to ask, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good.
And
Yeah.
can you tell us
I drank 1 cup of coffee, so I'm awake,
Okay.
alert, enthusiastic.
Can you tell us a little history about your company, sir? The company.
Neocolors, we started in Las Piñas way back 2024. It was a very small company, started with one color offset machine. We print receipts, calling cards, very small items only, until we innovate things and study and learn other things about printing, and we invested in large format machines. So then we started to print tarpaulins, outdoor stickers, indoor stickers, and so on. So right now, Neocolors Productions and Advertising Inc., we are the exclusive printing supplier of Uniqlo Philippines. And also we print for LRT1, LRT2, and MRT3. And right now we are focusing more on events productions and event management. And we have events not only in the Philippines, but also events internationally. Like we are always in New York for the Filipino gathering every June for our Independence Day celebration in New York.
So for our first question po is, what does leadership mean to you today, and has that meaning changed over time as you gain more experience as a leader?
As a leader, for me today, what is leadership for me today? For me, leadership is about being who you are. We need to be intentional as a leader, not just being a leader. For me, being a leader is learning the people around you, those people working around you, understanding their needs, and not only focusing on what you want, but what the people need. Leadership for me is how you develop other leaders. As a leader, it is my goal to develop good leaders, not to develop followers.
So it's a continuous process, not just a...
Yes, it is a continuous process. Leadership is not all about authority. It is not all about decision making. It's empathy, integrity, intelligence, and so on and so forth. For me, that's leadership. And I gained knowledge and wisdom on leadership because of maybe experience. I am not a business person. I am not a graduate of business schools or business courses, but I gained the leadership experience through learning, studying, and coaching from my previous bosses in different industries.
So it's through experience.
Experience, yes.
And moving on, sir, how would you describe your journey toward becoming a leader?
My journey it's tough because I started from the ground. I started as a rank and file employee. So I know the feeling when you're down there. And it's not that quick to be a leader, you know. But if you want this position, you are to work hard so much to be in this position. Okay? It takes a lot of trainings, takes a lot of learnings, observations, no? Experience, of course. I started being a supervisor how many years ago? But I used to handle people older than me. So it's again a challenge on me. How are you going to lead people older than you? But I believe if you have the right training, if you have the right wisdom and understanding on what leadership is all about, it's very easy for them to follow you.
So it was something that you worked hard on. It wasn't like passed on to you lang po.
No, it's not. I really worked hard on it. Again, as I said earlier, I started as a rank and file employee. So I made my position from down up. Rank and file, then I became a supervisor, manager, director, and now a COO. Yes, it's tough. It's not that quick. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm in the business, or I'm in the business for quite some time. I'm not going to tell you how long, but it's quite some time. So yeah.
Has it always been your dream to be in business?
No, I graduated BS Maritime. I am a nautical student. So I want to go places for free, of course. Traveling all around the world for free, that's what I want. But sometimes we have in the inside of us, we want something to happen in our lives. But the thing is, it's not the purpose, the plan of God in our lives too. Yes, He has plans for us. So given we have our plans, but at the end of the day, it's His plans that must be done, not our plans. So again, I am a maritime student, but when I graduated 1997, so you can already compute my age. I graduated 1997. I applied and I tried to work on board, but unfortunately I am colorblind. So what happened was, it's like the world went on me and it collapsed. Everything, all my plans collapsed. But you know what? Again, I say, if God has a plan for you, He will do everything, or He can do everything to prosper you. Yeah. So that's why I'm here now.
Okay. So to move on, our third question is: do you believe great leaders are born or made, and why?
I believe great leaders are made. There are some leaders that just, they are called leaders because of their parents, maybe. Because their parents are the owner of the company, their parents are the owner of the organization, and their parents put them into leadership. But based on my experience and what happened in my life, I believe that the experience molded me, shaped me to be a leader. That's why I believe that leadership or being a good leader is, they are made. They are not born. If you want to be a good leader, you have to work hard for it. Yeah.
Sir, following up with the question, I'd like to ask, having came from maritime, what's the work ethic? Like, from maritime to business, it must have not been easy, as you said. So
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit more about the work ethic that you took?
Actually, I didn't work as a maritime person. As I said earlier, when I graduated, I applied. But when I went to the physical examination, test,
Ethics.
so I dropped they call it Ishihara test. Ishihara means the color blindness test. So I cannot read colors. Oh, the maroon for me is black. The navy blue for me is black also. So I have to think about and pray about what am I gonna do. Okay, so there's a big shift in my life. That thank God and praise God that again His plan for me is totally different. I am not for the vessel. I am not for abroad. I am for business. So one person, my friend, called me and asked me if Joe, are you okay to work with my company? So I said yes. What kind of work? And he said sales work. So in our terms, it's agente. So I started 1998. I worked as an account executive for a freight forwarding company. I mentioned the name. It's Airspeed International Corporation. Right now, it's I think 60% owned by Hansi, the owner of FEU Tech. So I started there as an account executive, and there I learned a lot of things about leadership. My boss is an ex-military, so the discipline is really hard. You know, for example, when he scheduled the meeting and he said 10 a.m., be there at 10 a.m. Because if you will arrive at 10:05, 10:01, 10:02, then he will leave you. So that's the discipline. You know, so yeah.
It's a bit funny po, no? Kasi you mentioned you felt like your world was crumbling kasi you found out you were colorblind, and now you're currently working with Neo Colors, which is all about colors and printing.
That's why. You know?
Iron is funny.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, before Neo Colors, I'm in the business of freight forwarding. Really, freight forwarding, international. I handle international accounts. Importation, exportation, customs brokerage, that's my field for the longest time also. But Neo Colors was born because of my background in the business, and my sister decided to open this business of printing. So she asked me actually to help her, just to help her, organize things and everything. And I believe, again, that's the beginning of something big for this company.
So moving on, sir. Given that you are the COO of a company, what's the most misunderstood thing about leadership in your industry?
The most, for me, the most misunderstood thing in leadership is sometimes we consider leadership as a noun, meaning a position, a person. For me, it's not. It's a verb. Leadership, for me, is a verb. So we don't have to be an authoritarian kind of person when you become a leader. There's so many kinds of styles of leadership. You know, if you're familiar with the kind of leadership of the North Korean, president,
It's more like a dictator style.
dictatorship, that's called autocratic form of leadership, that the orders really coming from him and everything follows. Okay, but in reality, the most impactful leaders are those who lead with empathy, those people who lead with clarity, okay, those people who lead with considering the emotional intelligence of people, of every subordinates. You know, they foster environments where innovations, thrives. Many things that we need to, and then they listen. They have to learn to listen to people. And for me, that's kind of leadership is called the democratic style of leadership. Okay, I listen to people.
So it's really about connecting and empathizing with your people in the
Yes. Well, we cannot discount that there's a lot of leaders actually that are autocratic.
Yeah. Especially in
But again, the reason why we have different thumbs, fingerprints. because we have different styles of leadership. So for me, my kind of leadership is a mixture of democratic style and coaching style. I coach people. I coach my subordinate. I coach my assistant. And I don't want my assistant to be an assistant forever. I want them to be a leader. My fulfillment as a leader is to see my assistant, or to see my people working under me to be leaders also. I am to develop leaders, not followers.
Very hands-on type of leadership.
Actually, I am not also a micromanager. I don't micromanage people. I coach them. I teach them what to do because I believe in them. But you can only do that if your people, you shared enough coaching, you shared enough knowledge, you shared enough learning to your people. The best leader for me is you can go abroad, you can go on vacation, and still your company will function even without you, because you develop leaders, not followers. When you develop followers, the downside is that when you're out, the operation stops. But when you develop leaders, even you're not around, it will function.
So moving on to our next question. Who are your role models and why are they your role models?
There is only one role model in our organization. As I said earlier, we are a born-again Christian corporation. So the role model that we are following in this organization is only the Lord Jesus Christ and His style of leadership. Okay, Jesus as my role model. We know who He is. He's he's kind of compassionate kind of leader, loving, merciful, understanding kind of leader. And of course, He is a brilliant leader. His kind of leadership cannot be compared to any other leaders. No one and nobody can compare His kind of leadership, because He laid His life for you and for me, for His people. Maybe that kind of leadership, I'm so, far from that, to lay my life for my subordinates. Can you do that?
And as the saying goes po, sir, kahit na malayo pa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so you have obviously the Lord Jesus Christ. So for you po, do you think how important is it for leaders to have that kind of role model, to have something or someone to look up to?
It's very important. It's very important. You know why? We leaders understand how Jesus leads, because he sets the tone of a good and sacrificial kind of leadership. He showed us how to be a good leader by taking care of His sheep, right? We are all sheep of Him. So the care for our subordinates is actually following what the kind of leadership Jesus is telling us or showing us. And here in our organization, that's what we're trying to do. We are not boss. We are not that boss. But we listen. We love. We understand. We show mercy. We show grace to people. That is why in this organization, we give priority to, of course, studying the Word, studying the Bible also. Every Monday we have, part of our leadership, we have this devotion, we call it Monday Devotional. Every Monday. We do not start our business without prayer. We do not start the operations of this company without prayer and without the Word. Because as I said, this organization is grounded and founded by the Word of God.
Okay, sir. how do you help your organization see the future and actually believe in it?
Yeah, it's very important that us leaders understand how to organize the organization. We need to show our subordinates where we're going, right? It is not just for the leaders to understand and know the direction of the company. So we need to cascade the goals. We need to educate our people. Where are we going? What is our direction? What is the plans? Okay, what are the strategies? That's why when we develop strategies, it's not that easy. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of thinking, and we call it environmental scanning. We scan. We don't just think, we scan. Like for example, we scan for market trends. We scan for other technologies that can be used to our industry. What are the latest technologies that can be used in printing or maybe in event management? So we really have to scan, we really have to learn, okay? And when you do that, you are to give information or give knowledge, provide knowledge to your people and show them this is our direction. This is what or where the company wanted to go. That's again, goal setting is very important in our organization. Goal setting is that that is the major thing. You have to set your goal, but there is the nitty-gritty of things that you are to consider, even the smallest things. You are to consider that and cascade that to your people. It's very important that we cascade our corporate mandates. Okay? Because usually corporate mandates coming from the top management, coming from the president and CEO, coming from the board of directors. So through the leaders, through the managers, through the supervisors, those corporate mandates can be communicated to even to the smallest position in the company. Planning is actually part of the organization. Without planning, the organization is actually planning to fail. If you do not have your strategic planning, you are actually planning to fail. That's very important in our organization. Again, in planning or creating strategic plans, you consider your SWOT analysis. Consider your SWOT. It's very important. We used to do the SWOT analysis before when we were still, it's greenhorn with a strategic planning. We think about the SWOT analysis. Think. It doesn't work that way. You are to scan. Scan the environment. And again, how are we going to ensure that the plans are being executed, good and profitable for the company? Monitoring is very important. Planning, execution, monitoring.
It's very
So in terms of planning po, we have to obviously take in consideration the risk.
Yeah.
So my question po is, how do you balance taking risk with ensuring stability in the company?
Risk, there is actually a science on how to balance the risk,
mitigate the risk.
how to mitigate the risk. And the science behind it is it's called risk management, basically. Risk management. Every decisions that the leader would make, he or she must consider the risk and how to mitigate it. Like for example, as I said earlier, during our strategic planning sessions, it is not enough for the leaders to present their strategic plans. They have to consider the risk. For example, there's one strategy that we are planning to buy a brand new Toyota Grandia Elite version 2026 model. it's good. It's very good. It's very nice plan. A very exciting plan. But what are the risks? Fuel, right? Accident. What else? So from there, if you can already draw the possible risk of buying this car, then be ready with mitigation. Okay, so that's the how am I going to balance it? It's very important to consider the risk management.
So sir, stay on topic about balancing. Can you share a time when you had to make high stakes decision under pressure and uncertainty, and how did that turn out for you and your team?
Okay. There's one time, because our president and CEO is very busy. She is very busy. And there's one time that I have, me as the concurrent operations director of the company, I have to make a very important decision in the absence of her approval. What a risk. But you know what? As long as you are, you know what you're doing,
Yes.
as long as you can answer every questions that can be thrown at you when you are being interrogated by the president, it's okay. Do it. Okay? And I see an impact with my organization, with my operations people. It made them very effective. It made them trust me, because even without the approval of the president, I made this decision for them. So their trust, went bigger, actually, for me. But what I'm saying is that make sure that that decision or that risk that you are going to take will produce a very positive output. Okay? Because if not, if that decision fails, then you are accountable to the company.
And having listened to your answers here, it is given that it's not easy. Can you tell us what did you learn from that exact experience? Having to
I learned how to be confident with my decisions. Yeah. Again, as sometimes it's very hard because it takes, there's money involved there, people, accident may happen, and then of course the expenses for the company. But again, as long as you are confident enough and you can stand on that decision, whatever the risk that you may be encountering, and I'm already thinking of if. So I'm ready for all the answers of it. But good thing is, again, bottom line, make sure that when you make decision and take that risk, make sure that the output is positive.
So as a leader po, you make a lot of high-stake decisions and take a lot of risk po. The question is, how do you foster trust and motivation within your team, especially during challenging times like those?
Focus on your goals. I believe you are Tamaraos.
yes.
You are not archers. Right? But me as a leader, I will do my part, my very best to encourage and motivate my people. Okay? I will teach them, coach them, let them understand the goal. What is our goal? What is the goal of our organization? What is the goal of this company? What is our mission? What is our vision? That's very important. Goal setting is very important also. Even you guys, even you students, what is your goal? Of course, to become CPAs. When you graduated, if you pass the CPA board. Yeah? Or maybe you want to be a corporate accountant or something. Right? But what I'm saying is, focus on your target. The archers, when they pull the string, okay, they are not focusing on the audience. When they pull the string with the arrow, they are focused on the bullseye, the red dot at the center of the target. They're not listening to the negative here, negative voices here, negative voices there. They are focused. So that's the reason why when they release the arrow bullseye, what's the impact there on how am I going to motivate people in my organization? Focus on the goal. Challenges, they're everywhere. They are everywhere. Do not be discouraged with those challenges. Even myself, I didn't become a COO just like that. So many challenges. I even decided to quit. Sometimes I felt neglected. Sometimes I felt set aside. But you know what? That's not my goal. I have a goal in life. Okay? So that's why I'm so focused. And I'm sharing that with all my subordinates, even, you know what, my assistant, my admin assistant, she's not, she just graduated yesterday. But she's been earning before her graduation because I employed her, I think 2 months before the graduation. She's already working. So what's that? Because she has a goal, and her goal is to help her family. Because she is a breadwinner.
And sir, you know, backtracking po, you said kanina that your assistant, you don't want her to be an assistant her entire life. So so looking ahead po, how do you plan to continue growing and evolving as a leader in the face of constant change?
There's only two things in life that are constant: change and taxes. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, as a leader, you have to embrace change. We need to embrace new generations like you guys. Right? You are now in Gen Z. I am Gen X. So we have that very large gap between us. If I am not going to adjust, if I am not going to learn your generation, there's going to be a very big generational gap. Right? So being a good leader, we need to learn. Unending. You know what? Leadership is unending. It's a continuous learning. Never stops. It never stops. One thing I learned with my boss, who's from ex-military, he said, even the balot of the bagoong, you have to read and you have to learn from it. What's in there? What I'm saying, what he's saying is that even the smallest learning you have to capture, you have to absorb, you have to take that into consideration on your leadership style, on your leadership, everything. Okay, so we are into AI generation. Are you guys using AI? Yeah, we are already in AI. We are a creative company also. So we do not settle with Photoshops. Photoshop is obsolete already in our organization. We are already using AI, simplifying everything. Right? Now, me as a leader, I have to learn that. Or else, my people learn something that I haven't learned. Okay? So they just can dictate, to me things that I don't know. That's why the challenge is, if you're a leader, never stop learning.
Sir, thank you for that very insightful and very, very thoughtful answer.
That concludes our interview.
And again, I am Red Garcia,
And I'm Nana Lahara.
and that is our interview for today.